Hello, hello, DMG's Jim here, continuing along, reading through the 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide. We are still touring the Multiverse. We're getting most of the way through it now. Next up on our reading list is Mechanus. As usual, I'll read through what's here, very short section here, and then I'll offer up a little bit of commentary and some other resources should you choose to expand these out. But let's get to it. Chapter 6, Touring the Multiverse, Mechanus. Mechanus is where perfectly regimented order reigns supreme. It consists of equal measures of light and dark and equal proportions of heat and cold. On Mechanus, law is reflected in a realm of gigantic clockwork gears, interlocked and turning according to their measure. The cogs seem to be engaged in a calculation so vast that no deity can fathom its purpose. Some theories hold that they are the clockwork of time throughout the cosmos, that time itself would stop if the gears ceased turning. Other theories propose that the cogs uphold the basic rules and orders of the cosmos. Modrons are the primary inhabitants of Mechanus and maintain its intricate clockworks. The plane is also home to the creator of the Modrons, a godlike being called Primus, whose realm is called Regulus. Mechanus has no distinct layers. Each turning cog has its own force of gravity pulling towards its center, with structures built on the faces of the cogs. Some of the cogs are like small islands, while others are hundreds of miles across. Mechanus Adventures. Mechanus embodies absolute order, and it influences those who spend time here. Individual consciousness is subordinated to the search for perfect order, and I is ultimately subsumed into we. An adventurer on Mechanus might lead characters to examine their individual egos in the light of the adventuring party. It might challenge a character to set aside personal goals for the benefit of the group or the greater cosmic law, or alternatively, it might encourage characters to assert their own individual identities distinct from the party and possessing their own goals and needs. That's kind of it. That's the end of the reading. Really short section. Unfortunately, there's a lot out there about Mechanus. Mechanus is a very cool location, and it features in a couple of the older campaign books heavily. So, end of my reading, start of my commentary. If you're here for reading, appreciate you being here. If you're here for commentary, hang out. As usual, I know, old hat, but we are once again in the Planescape Library. If you need information about Mechanus, you're going to look at the Planes of Law. Okay, the Planes of Order. This is a box set reflecting on the lawful planes, the lawful outer planes. And that includes Bator, the Nine Hells. It includes Arcadia. And it also includes Mechanus. Now, in regards to using this for adventures, it can be a little bit of a challenge, primarily because Mechanus is the land of absolute unfeeling order. Period. The end. If you are not an upholder of order and law, you are a violator of the universe. It's that, I know that sounds brutal, but it's that simple. People throw around the term lawful stupid when they're talking about lawful good. No, that's actually going to be Mechanus where it's lawful stupid. Law for its own sake, order for the existence of order. And if you're not capable of upholding that order, you are an opponent to order. Therefore, you deserve to be destroyed for the sake of the multiverse. This is militant lawfulness when your players go to Mechanus. And I'm going to say for modern players, unless you got a distinct reason to go to Mechanus, it's easier for your adventurers it's easier for modern players to play in Hell than it is to play in Mechanus. Because at least in Hell, there's some moral ambiguity. There's a deal to be made. They do adhere to law first and foremost, but the evil nature of the law allows for there to be a corruption of the order. Mechanus has no evil. It has no good. It has only law. If your players are supposed to be walking along a yellow line that's been painted on this gear and they're straddling the line, they're going to get one order. And at that point, this being is incapable of being lawful. Therefore, this being must be terminated. Yes, law uncaring is what you're dealing with in Mechanus. Now, if you're into constructs, if you're into big, vast concepts, Mechanus is a really cool place. I've used it in the past to call it, connecting it to Istis, the goddess of fate in Greyhawk. And the great gears of Mechanus acted as her loom as she twisted out and as she wove the fabric of reality and the fabric of fate. And Mechanus and the existence of the machine was there to ensure that fate, as it was written, was followed through. Now that's the downside with a plane such as Mechanus. You're not getting into a lot of dungeon crawls here. You're not going and killing the dragon and getting the loot and going home. You're dealing with a lot of high-end moral and philosophical concepts. What does law to the extreme look like? Is it what does uncaring order feel like, and how can your players react within this? Mechanus is on the far opposite side to Limbo. These two things oppose each other. Absolutely. They understand that both need to exist, but they also understand that we need to destroy each other. The existence of law prevents the creation of chaotic energy. The existence of chaos prevents the preservation of order. So the two balance each other in the cosmic wheel. And one would say that Limbo versus Mechanus is a bigger deal than Mount Celeste versus the Abyss. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of interesting concepts that come into play when you start looking at the outer planes, especially when you're looking at something like Mechanus, because the law is the land is the law. Order is the only reason that this plane exists, and the enforcement of order is the reason that every creature upon this plane exists. Your chaotic good people are going to be miserable here. They're likely going to get attacked. Because, by nature, a lawful good person isn't going to follow any rule. Or not lawful, chaotic good, my apologies. So yeah, your Chaos Goblins, it's a death sentence if you send them to Mechanus. You need to be aware of these things when you're planning your adventure. But yeah, that's enough about this. Enough. Nice, quick, short video. There's not a bunch in the 2024 book. There's a lot out here for it in the second edition Planescape Multiverse publication cycle. But Mechanus is a challenging place to plan adventures because there's no tolerance for the freedom of will that your players typically exhibit when they're doing their thing. So kind of keep that in mind as you're at it here. But thank you so much for your time. Likes, follows, subscribes. All those things are appreciated. Join us over on Twitch for live chat. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. We'll be back for more of our tour of the multiverse in the 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide here soon. Take care.